All right, we're taping this right after the Chiefs-Ravens game. Normally, Peter Schrager is on Good Morning Football in the mornings with a good night's sleep, or maybe no sleep, and some coffee, and a chance to react. You're doing this podcast now. We're going right after, baby.
Let's go.
What a game. Chiefs 27, Ravens 20. It seemed like the Ravens not only covered the +3, but we're going for 2 in week 1. With an incredible comeback, incredible revenge game, chance to win in Arrowhead or whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Durant, Brooklyn, Milwaukee style, foot on the line.
Great call. Great throwback.
Game over.
Do we feel robbed of the opportunity of not getting that 2-point conversion? Or do you feel like that's just an amazing finish we'll always remember as the toe game? Like if Likely's toe is a centimeter smaller, that is a different, or do you feel like, what would have happened? Like if they went for it and they just walked off and they won it, like what a cool ending for Harbaugh. I feel a little bit robbed right now. We literally finished watching Bill 2 minutes ago on your couch.
Well, the Ravens had a chance to steal the game.
Yeah.
It felt like the Chiefs pretty much gave the game away over and over again, but then we're still leading 7 and then had multiple chances just to get one more first down. Couldn't do it. And it was a weirdly sloppy game.
A lot of penalties.
From the Chiefs, a lot of penalties.
Hockley just threw another flag.
Ravens offensive line looked super shaky.
At first.
Right. And then at the end, it was just Lamar going back, waiting, scrambling, creating plays, doing all the stuff that we love when we talk about Lamar. But it comes down to the Chiefs. They look gassed.
Chris Jones was on his knees.
They have 2 timeouts left. I don't understand why you don't call timeouts to give your dudes a 3-minute breather. They're all like sitting on the field basically during these stoppages.
You had the long stoppage when Likely goes down with the injury late. And you'd think, you were saying, just, at some point call a timeout because they're so exhausted. They're obviously gassed, all the big guys. I disagreed. I said to you while we were watching it, Baltimore's got no timeouts. Lamar's out of his shotgun, looking over to the sideline. They look like they were frenetic. You give a timeout, you give Todd Monken a chance to give Lamar a play. But gosh, of all the plays we watched, and this is really fresh, the Marlon Humphrey blown coverage on the second worthy touchdown, which was a complete mental lapse.
Yeah.
Not supposed to happen. That's one where he's looking off. He thinks he's got help with the safety. That's a freak play. That is something you practice a million times. There's some sort of circuits that cross. That's a huge chunk play. If they don't give that up, the Ravens are in control and the Ravens do have a shot. So big mistake there. And then you think back and
then they almost steal it anyway.
Still almost won.
Better win for the Chiefs or worse loss for the Ravens?
Oh, I think it's a fine loss if you're the Ravens. You come out of that thing, you're like,
your heads are held high.
Yes, because the Chiefs came out humming and they're like, we have 3 new offensive linemen, we have a brand new defensive coordinator, and we hung with the world champions in their building and could have stolen that at the end.
So a bunch of legacies from this game. Oh, we're doing the legacy stuff already. Yeah.
I'm shocked.
4 minutes into week 1, we're doing legacies.
Let's go.
Legacy number 1 for me is the Chiefs nailed their 2 draft picks. And not only that, but they somehow retool. I was on multiple Patriot fan threads where we're just like, we couldn't find guys for Brady for 20 years, and the Chiefs in back-to-back years just get Rice.
Yep.
They get Worthy this year, who looked like Tyreek 2.0. They also get a left tackle who they highlighted during the game that the Patriots could have traded up this year and gotten.
Yep, second
but
round.
They retooled, reloaded. They looked faster. They had that stat where it was like they only had 4 20-yard plus touchdowns last year. They had 2 tonight.
Yep.
And I guess my big takeaway from the game is the Chiefs were, they won 2 straight Super Bowls. I didn't think they were very fun to watch last year, except for the Mahomes part. It was like a grind.
Sure.
It was like, just let's get it done. The Chiefs were fun tonight.
Weren't they?
Like I'm back in on like, holy shit, the Chiefs are on. I'm watching. Which I didn't feel that way last year.
No, and they grinded it out. And they showed those stats throughout the embassy broadcast that they were like, a middling offense all last year and they couldn't really get out of their funk.
And didn't have that swagger.
No, they had it tonight. Worthy's first play from first time he touches the ball is a reverse play. Pretty cool call, touchdown. Yeah. It's not just the past 2 years. Like that 2022 draft was Pacheco, McDuffie, Karlaftis, Josh Williams, I think Creed Humphrey, and I think Trey
Creed
Smith.
Humphrey.
And that's like 7, like that's a credit to the front office, Brett Veach and those guys. And then, like you said,
did you just give me a credit to the front office? 6 minutes in? That was good.
That.
You're in mid-season form already. Credit to the front office.
I haven't slept in a couple of days. They find these guys, but like you and I looked at each other. It's the fourth quarter. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, and they're handing the ball off to Carson Steele.
Second down. Yeah. Chiefs need one more first down, basically. First down, they get 5.
And you and I,
all of a sudden, Carson Steele's
there's
in there.
holes on this roster. Like, not that Carson Steele came in, but like, yes, they had, but like, there were moments where like, okay, interesting. Juju's getting the ball there. Like, there are still holes on this roster, and Mark and Hollywood Brown will get back. And
wait, but hold that thought though. You put Hollywood Brown out there today, and that's probably 35 plus points. Like,
Maserati,
Juju was
Ferrari,
covered the whole game.
Yeah. Juju's not getting, not
no, he won't.
Deep. Offense looked good, and early on they were destroying that offensive line with that defensive pressure. But
one of the things that was nuts, the first half, the Baltimore ran 36 plays, and I think the Chiefs had 20.
Yeah.
And usually and the Chiefs got the ball to start the second half, but usually when that happens, you see in the second half, the defense just gets gassed, which happened anyway, but the Chiefs were able to convert a couple of times, get some scores.
That Bateman catch along the sideline, and then you're like, okay, all of a sudden it's 10 seconds.
You're kind of rattled. You got up at 2:45 LA time today.
I made my Super Bowl
thought
prediction.
That Chiefs game was going to be 34-10 at one point.
Made my Super Bowl prediction about 40 hours ago on live television. It is now midnight Eastern. I've got to be up in 3-4 hours. But I will tell you, I come out of that thing, and if I'm a Ravens fan, I feel pretty damn good. There was a lot of talk about their offensive line coach passed away, 3 different offensive linemen who are not like seasoned guys, and they likely looked amazing tonight. So like, you have the pieces, and Lamar was awesome. I was a little nervous when Lamar was running around, and I know Tarico and those guys were like, he looks faster. Like, over 17 weeks, I don't need to see Lamar getting cracked by Connor like he was.
So
that's worrisome to me, but he was great tonight. Lamar was fantastic.
That's legacy number 2 for this game for me. Lamar ends up 16 carries for 122, throws for 26 for 41 for 273.
Great game.
That we need some sort of version for we're unleashing this Lamar tonight because we really want this game. 16 carries in a 17-week season. I'm not good at math, but that's a lot of carries.
It's a lot of carries.
That's over 260.
Yeah. Probably not sustainable.
Yeah. So, but the point is, they're not going to be able to do that every week. So I want to know, when you're not unleashing your, hey, we don't care if Lamar takes a ton of hits this game, we're going to have him run around, do his thing. What's plan B for this team? I would guess it's Derrick Henry, but their line, I thought their line the first 3 quarters especially looked pretty iffy.
What they were doing was they weren't running the ball too well, so they were getting these little dump off passes to Justice Hill.
Right, but the Chiefs just didn't sniff
Chiefs never adjusted for it. And then Derrick Henry did have a couple big carries. We remember that third down where he converted, or was it a fourth down? I'm delirious, but it was 4th and short.
Yeah.
And they went for it, and he was stopped behind the line and just powers through. The receiving options.
By the way, that got the Collinsworth doing that is 250 pounds of man, Mike.
4K. Let's look. Zay Flowers played well. Isaiah Likely played well. Derrick Henry ran the ball well. Just like, their offense looked good to me. They can compete.
So you're thinking the Ravens were a little bit better than you were maybe expecting in your head.
Yes. I didn't think they were going to hang offensively with those guys. And I thought the Chiefs defense struggled all night corralling Lamar. Chris Jones was dominant early on, and then it felt like every time he got behind
I'm going the other way. I think they were lucky to be in that game because you go back, the Chiefs ended up with 27 points anyway. But think they had that swing pass to Perrine where he was ready to run for a touchdown. Lamar missed him. They had that crazy play at the end of the first half with Lamar just threw it to the Ravens for no reason.
Picks it off. They get a field goal to stop it.
And we never got the right replay to explain why the pass was 7 yards short, and he doesn't do stuff like that. So you had that play. And then that last drive, he
missed a couple.
He missed a couple. I'm saying Mahomes missed a couple. And then, it was just 3 downs, you win the game. 2nd down, Carson Steele's in the game. I would almost rather use a timeout than have Carson Steele. Let's come up with our best play. Let's run the Tyreek play with Worthy. Let's do something. But for some reason, they were happy to give the Ravens the ball back.
Through the pass, it got deflected by Simpson. Great play. Then Mahomes catches it.
Which saves about whatever. So it makes the Ravens use the last time out, or I forget what happened. And it saved them time.
Ariza has a great punt.
He did. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
They're on the 10.
On the 10 with the minute, and Lamar took him, and he went, and he missed Zay Flowers, and he missed Likely in the back of the end zone. So to me, those are two passes Lamar will usually make.
Well, the thing
great
with
game.
Lamar, we said this after the third quarter, because it was 2 hours of them telling us how amazing Lamar was, and
Yeah,
he's
10
faster
points.
and he's angry and he had this game circled and this is a different kind of Lamar and he's competitive, and look at him in the sidelines. And it was like, they have 10 points. Let's settle down. But then fourth quarter, he almost ended up with 17 points in the fourth quarter and poured it on. But I thought he was great tonight. He also missed Flowers wide open on that second to last play.
Had Likely on the play before.
Wide open. He does say Likely, but Likely doesn't end up keeping it. I guess if you're a Ravens fan, you're excited that Likely, all the preseason hype, all the buzz, all the quotes about him, like watch out for this guy. And it was like he looked like he was Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah. Did you feel like we didn't get enough Derrick Henry? If you're a Ravens fan, like this is all summer also. It's going to be thunder and lightning. And they did a couple cool plays where, it was like a fake handoff to Henry and then it was Lamar outside. But I don't leave that game thinking like, I know he scored the early touchdown. He had that big conversion, but I don't leave that game thinking that Derrick Henry is the focus of that offense by any means.
13 for 46.
Yeah.
So what is walk me through the morning talk show topics tomorrow? So we do did Lamar was great, but he didn't get it done again.
Did Lamar came into this thing 2-4 in the playoffs and 1-3 versus the
should we be worried Lamar can't win big games?
It's like, did Lamar silence any doubts? We'll do that one.
Oh, that's a good one, because that's like a little glass half full.
Yeah. Did he silence any doubts?
Did Lamar silence any doubters for you last night?
Did he silence the doubters, the ambiguous? I'd say yes. I thought Lamar showed up and was way better than we saw him in the playoffs last year. Yeah.
Counter.
Yeah.
Not sustainable.
Okay.
He took too many hits.
It's a good take.
That's fucking
this is
crazy.
The dialogue of one of these shows.
This is an 18-week season, and he took 10 flush hits in that game.
He played that game, and they coached that game as if it was a winning in, and it was everything. And in a lot of ways,
that was like a week 18. We need to make the playoffs. But in a lot of ways for them,
psychologically, like they probably felt that way. Like, we have to win this game.
Well, you saw the Harbaugh going for the two. It's
no doubt.
We're not going overtime. Fuck this.
That would be one topic. Second one, we would go 30 times, 40 times, showing the angles on the Likely thing and just kind of put that into historical context. Is this like one of those games where we're always going to remember the Isaiah Likely?
Well, what are some of the recent ones like that?
There
was that one Dallas. What was that Dallas Cowboys game everybody got all excited about?
Dallas-Detroit last year?
Dallas-Detroit was one.
With the offensive lineman declaring eligible.
Yeah.
That one
At least this time, the guy was out of bounds. There was no...
He was out. No question with the rules. I would say the other topic would be the Chiefs, their new weapons, obviously with, Worthy coming out and what they did with a little bit with Pirine, but Pacheco tonight was fantastic, just grinding. And Mahomes was amazing. Mahomes was fantastic. He had a couple mistakes, like we talked about. He missed Pirine on that one and threw the interception, but like, I took the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. It sounds boring. I leave tonight thinking, Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl. Like that team right there in that building, that is a tough team to beat. And the Ravens gave them everything they can handle. And they couldn't do it.
Worthy, Rice, and Hollywood Brown.
It's fast.
Might be the best like top three receivers that he's had from a explosive standpoint.
Yeah, he had Tyreek and Hardman that one year, and I guess the third was like Byron Pringle.
Right. He never had like three guys that all had 40-yard touchdown potential.
I'll tell you a conversation I had with a source at Texas when they were all coming out, because it was him, it's A.D. Mitchell, it was this kid Whittington, they're all in the NFL. And I was like, Worthy, obviously he's going to be fast before the combine. He's like, Worthy's going to be fast, and everyone's going to look at his 40 time and immediately compare him to, John Ross or whoever, Darius Hayward Bay or whatever it is. He's like, but Worthy is a smart player too, and was one of the smartest players. And like, you can give him the ball on a jet sweep. He knows where to go. He also runs the full route tree. So he goes 28th. The Bills are the team that trades that. I know it's early, it's one game in, but like, did he not look like this guy was one of the most dynamic players in the NFL right out of the gates? He looked like Tyreek Hill out there tonight.
It's so tough. And same thing with the left tackle, who was the best left tackle left.
Looked solid.
And somehow just
give up one sack.
People just love giving the Chiefs stuff. So they only ran...
Pacheco
they ran 48 plays. Baltimore ran 73 plays in that game and lost. So if you're Baltimore, here's take number 3.
Okay.
They're at Dallas next week. Home for the Bills on a Sunday night.
Not easy.
at Cincy.
Not easy.
Is your sphincter starting to tighten if you're the Ravens?
That's why they went with Lamar going 18 carries. We had to win this game. What a great different angle it is if we could beat the Cowboys next week.
Well, and then on the flip side, if you're the Bengals, you have the Pats this week, right? That's a win. You're
already going to Bengals schedule. I love this.
Chiefs the following week.
That's a fun one.
That's a tough one. Then you go Washington, then you're at Carolina. You could be 3-1.
You could pop out.
And you might have like a 2-game lead on the Ravens heading into the home game week 5.
One
so
game into 256
energized.
games. I love this.
Or my Steelers.
Your Steelers.
Going in, maybe they win in Atlanta this week.
Doubt.
Who knows? The Browns have the Cowboys, but I never.
So you come out of this thing saying tough loss for the Ravens.
Well, you start out 0-1. Now I need to go. Now if I'm getting to 11 wins, I got to rip off 11-5 now.
Yeah.
I just did that math in my head. That's why I make the big bucks. That's why I'm right here. The 0-1 start is just brutal. I don't like it.
It's tough.
And I also don't like that my best player had a really good game and we lost.
Chiefs did lose the first week last season. They figured it out. A lot of teams lose that.
Yeah, I get it.
I know. You get it. What do you think of that French Open match or the U.S. Open match that we were also talking about?
The Buffalo Bills' daughter won the semifinal.
What was her name?
Muchova.
She collapsed.
Throwing a racket? Yeah, it was a total collapse. All right. Any last legacies for this game?
Just a fun, awesome way to start the season. The NFL can't script this any better. And we have a game tomorrow night too. It's crazy. This is a cool way to start the year.
I had the new kickoff rule.
Wasn't as dynamic as we had hoped.
It felt like it was still violent.
Yeah, we saw guys.
It was I thought we were trying to not have collisions. These guys were crushing each other.
What I heard on this maybe it's one game in, but everyone I spoke to was just wait till week 1. No teams are showing anything in preseason. There's going to be crazy reverses and laterals and all sorts of wild bells and whistles that they're practicing on. We didn't see any of that tonight.
We did not.
That was not there.
The only other thing I have was the coach interviews. Can you explain the coach interview thing? We now have to have a disgruntled coach at the end of the first half who wants no part of talking to a TV person.
The rule
doing that interview, and you've had to do those from time to time.
Yeah.
What's worse?
Well, they used to be off camera, and then a couple of years ago we started tinkering with it. The rules now are that every team has to offer up at least a head coach, at least one or the other. A head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or special teams coach that has to speak on air. So those are the 2 head coaches. Melissa Stark got the 2 big guys, which is great. We're going to be talking to special teams coaches on the broadcast. We're going to get offensive coordinators who don't do a lot of media. We're going to do defense. So we're going to see if we get anything out of these. But I've only done one of them on air ever, and it was a viral moment. I had Mike McDaniel up in Buffalo, and he was absolutely fantastic. His first year as a coach, and he was grilling me about what I was wearing, and he was fun and he was awesome. That was not Andy Reid tonight. That was not John Harbaugh tonight.
No, they're we gotta button down those turnovers and just play our game.
Playing, do what we're doing.
Yeah,
and if you're Melissa
Stark,
what else can you do? It's not her fault. It's just these coaches aren't going to give you that there. So I think the hope was to get some access, but yeah, I don't think we. No viral moments tonight.
Yeah, you almost want to zag and be like, Andy, have you seen Taylor Swift yet?
That's it. Just do something. John,
Andy, how about this weather?
John, your brother's back. What's Jim going to do? Something.
How many times have you talked to your brother this week?
Yeah.
He's coached the team too.
Excuse me? Yeah.
How do you feel about the U.S. Open? Any thoughts about Tiafoe?
Are you checking Machova Pagula? Yeah. We were locked into that.
Well, great game. Great Chiefs cover. Favorites now 1-0.